Well, here we go. Season on the brink right here for the Yankees. They're down 5-1, 3 outs to play with. 5-1 lead for Toronto. And Toronto is 3 outs away from the American League Championship Series. Well, Jason Dominguez going to pinch hit for Volpe, who K'd 3 times tonight.
Tough way to end the season.
Oh. Finished at a tie with this ball club. There's a swing and a miss by Dominguez. For the third best record in the American League. But Toronto spent all season wearing out the Yankees. And coming close to closing out the deal right here. 0-1 to Dominguez. Fastball away. 1-1.
I'm going to look up and see when his last at bat was, Jason Dominguez.
Against Baltimore, last time we saw Baltimore.
September
27. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, drive to the gap in right center field. That'll get down. One hop the fence. Dominguez, they will hold at second. A pinch hit double. One of the better balls he's hit all season.
Yep.
And that brings up Ahmed Rosario. Rosario with a base hit in his first plate appearance as he took over for McMahon. Got a single to center in the 7th inning. The Yankees have left 7 men on the last 3 innings. They had the bases loaded in the 8th with the tying run at the plate. First pitch to Rosario. Pitch up high, ball 1.
And smart enough to take it. He sees that Hoffman really wild.
Dominguez taking his lead at second. Trying to build something big here. Swing and a miss and a slider. 1-1. Jeff Hoffman, tall, rangy right-hander. 1-1 pitch here to Rosario. The pitch swung on and sent to left center field. Straw over to his left. Makes the catch. Gets the ball back in quickly. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Trent Grisham. 0 for 4 tonight. Couple strikeouts looking. Grisham 1 for 10, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts when he faces Jeff Hoffman. Left-hand hitter. Got good speed out at second. Yankees trying to build an inning here. Save the season. First pitch. In there for a strike. There's a slider on the inside corner. Those who remain are on their feet and hoping with prayerful intentions. There's the 0-1. And a pitch to Grisham. Taken up high. 1-1.
I would say most of the people are still here. Now that a couple of sections of Blue Jays family and friends in back of me starting to get a little excited.
1 out. On a 1-1 here to Grisham. Judge on deck. Breaking ball way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Impatient at bat here.
Smart and patient. No doubt about it. Needed. Two-1 to Grisham. Hoffman to the plate. The pitch. Swing on. Pulled to the right side. Backhanded nicely by sliding Guerrero. Flips to Hoffman, who got there. Ball's a little bit behind him, but he made the grab. He's got a long reach. Records the out number 2. That's a 3-1 put out. And there's 2 down.
That was a tremendous play by Vladdy. You were talking about how he really worked and lost weight and stuff. That was a play that a couple of years ago he wouldn't have made.
Yeah, he might not have. He was carrying so much weight, he wouldn't have had the quickness to get over there, let alone bend down to get it. There's Judge with the man on. 2 out season. Last leg, swinging a miss with a slider. 0-1. Judge got the Yankees' first hit in the first inning, lined out hard to second in the third, then an intentional walk and a strikeout. 1 for 3 tonight. Here's the 0-1. The pitch for Hoffman, swing and a miss, another slider. 0-2. So it's come down to this. The Yankees of 2025. 0-2 to the captain. Down 5-1, bottom 9 here at the stadium. Hoffman ready. And the pitch to Judge. He went outside with a fastball, ball 1. This place is vibeless right now.
Yep.
A 1-2 pitch coming to Judge here. Season on the line. 2 out. And the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hit hard left field. That will hit the fence. He needs a hold there. Scoring on the play is Dominguez. So Judge doing his part with his second hit. Ringing single off the left field wall. Got a 5-2 ball game with 2 outs.
That was a long shot, and you would have hated to have the season end on Judge making it out. Now, one of the things that gets painful for people is watching another team celebrate on your field.
Oh.
And the Yankees did that with the Dodgers last year.
They did it to Seattle last year, too.
Very painful.
Here's Bellinger, 5-2 ball game. Judge at first, 2 outs. Bouncing ball pulled foul, first base side. 0-1.
Right. Not done yet.
So Bellinger is 4 for 11, 4 strikeouts against Hoffman. Stanton to follow him if he can get aboard. Stanton's 3 for 7 with a home run. 2 out, runner at first. 0-1 to Belly. Swing and a miss. And again, the Yankees are down to the last strike for the season here in 2025. Bellinger trying to keep this thing working here. 0-2, 2 out, runner at first. 5-2 Toronto here in the ninth. The pitch. Missed down low and inside in the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Hoffman steps off the rubber. Now he's back in. That right foot on the third base side of the rubber. Bellinger ready to go. Counts 1-2, 2 out, runner at first. Guerrero backs off at first. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to the American League Championship Series, which starts on Sunday as Hoffman gives a very defiant look at the Yankee dugout. And here come the Blue Jays to celebrate in front of the mound. They beat the Yankees tonight by a 5-1 count and win 3 games here. 3 games in 4. Now, very sad ending to a Yankees season here in 2025. Complete domination by the Yankees, by Toronto this season. And the Yankees showed heart this season, brought to you by Sorin Medical, helping to keep your heart healthy. So and it is not good to see another team celebrating on your field. But it is what it is. That's the price you pay when you don't get the job done. Oh boy. Tough go. Bad way to end this season. And we'll step aside, come back with more details from Yankee Stadium. WFAN Yankees Radio, driven by Jeep.
Yankees fans, score big with the official New York Yankees MasterCard credit card. You can use it to earn up to 5% back on purchases at Yankee Stadium. Apply now and learn how to earn 4 free Yankees tickets. Visit Yankees.com/pinstripe rewards today.
Sad story here at Yankee Stadium. 5-2 loss to the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays dominated the Yankees, beating them 3 out of 4 in this series and 11 out of 17 times during the regular season and the postseason. Aaron Judge hit 53 home runs in the regular season, hit 1 home run this postseason. Judge home run counter brought to you by Main Tech, the official IT infrastructure services company of Yankees Radio. Attendance tonight, 47,823. Brought to you by Audi. Experience the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron at your local tri-state Audi dealer today. As on the infield, the Blue Jays getting their championship, their ALDS winning T-shirts in black. Hugs all around, a big hug line. Guys come out of the dugout. There's one guy getting ready to run into the stands to see some family. Here are the final numbers on the final game here in 2025 for the Yankees. Toronto wins it by a count of 5-2. 5 runs on 12 hits. No errors. They left 9 on. The Yankees, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and they left 10 on. Sir Anthony Dominguez gets the win. He is 1-0. Cam Schlittler takes the loss, and Jeff Hoffman, gets the save. Time of game, 3 hours and 22 minutes, 47,823 on hand. And again, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 11 times in 17 meetings, counting everything. And here, let's see, runners in scoring position in this game, Toronto was 3 for 17, so the Yankees were lucky to have been that close. And the Yankees went 1 for 6 runners in scoring position. Well, it's been a pleasure. My first year here with the Yankees. Enjoyed working with Suzyn Waldman, Matt Shortis, Rick Roush, Emmanuel Babari. Stay tuned for the Yankees post-game show. Again, the final score, 5-2. Toronto over the Yankees ends the Yankees' 2025 season. New York Yankees Baseball is a production of WFAN in conjunction with the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Connor Green, our producer-engineer in the booth, Matt Shortis. Executive producers, Dove Kramer. Coordinating producers, Aiden Janusis. And production assistance by Rick Roush. The Verizon Yankees postgame show is next. For Suzyn Waldman, my good friend and colleague here in the booth on air, I'm Dave Sims. Talk to you next season, everybody, baseball-wise. Wishing you a good night from Yankee Stadium. Once again, the final score, Toronto wins the American League Division Series, taking out the Yankees in 4 games, 3 games to 1. Postgame show coming up next.
New York Yankees baseball was presented by Jeep. Step up to the plate with confidence with the Jeep brand's newest MVP, the luxurious all-electric Jeep Wagoneer S. Visit Jeep.com and see your local Jeep brand dealer for great deals. And also brought to you by Morningside Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Black Bear Meats and Cheeses, available exclusively at your local ShopRite. Roto-Rooter, leave plumbing to the pros at Roto-Rooter, your local tri-state area Audi dealer. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Spectrum. Get fast and reliable speeds on the network that moves with you. Spectrum. My computer career. Training for a better life. Guinness. It's a lovely day for a Guinness. Workman's Circle Multi-Care Center. ThriveWell Infusion. The official IV partner of Yankees Radio. And by DKNY. Synonymous with New York since 1989. Yankees postgame is next on WFAN Yankees Radio.
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot. The postseason is here, and we're recapping all the drama and action of October every weekday morning. Who's going to get hot and go on a run? Who will be the postseason hero? And who gets crowned as champion? From the wild card through the World Series, we have you covered. Your home for postseason baseball is the leadoff spot, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Yankees postgame show, powered by Verizon. For a limited time, get their best price ever. Drop into your local Verizon store today to learn more. Also brought to you by the Mazda CX-50 Hybrid, Provident Bank, commitment you can count on. Elect 825, building our future. The Chef IQ Sense. Buy yours today at chefiq.com. Orlin & Cohen Orthopedic Group. We've got specialists for that. Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa with over 80 locations. General Plumbing Supply. Trust the wheel experts. 877 Cars for Kids. That's cars with a K. To donate your car today. My Computer Career. Training for a better life. River Spring Living. Schedule a tour at riverspringliving.org today. And by Laborers Local 731. Feel the power.
Yankee season, a bitter end. Blue Jays beat them down. Toronto just bullpenned its way to the championship series. Blue Jays win in 4 games this ALDS. They end the Yankees season at Yankee Stadium. Cam Schlittler did his part, came through again. Yankee offense, though, flummoxed by 8 Blue Jay relievers. They 6-hit the Yankees tonight. Only 2 Yankee hits by the 7th inning. That while Schlittler did all he could. Yankees were outplayed tonight. They were outplayed pretty much all series. And the tough part is this. For the 3rd time in 4 years, you're sitting here at Yankee Stadium, and the sting of watching another team, a rival, celebrate on your field. That part's never easy. Welcome into the Verizon Yankees postgame show. Emmanuel Berbari with you. The Blue Jays 5 and the Yankees 2 in Game 4. Toronto, pesky as ever to close out this series. The way they beat the Yankees all year. You count the regular season. Toronto beat the Yankees 11 out of 17 times this year. They did it with contributions up and down the lineup. Between the household names, the Ernie Clements, the Nathan Lucases, the less household names. Add in Miles Straw, Andres Jimenez tonight. Real story, Game 4, Yankee offense shut down. Following that emotional win last night, led by the captain, tonight they just fell flat. Jazz Chisholm, a rough night between that strikeout in the 2nd inning, a double play in the 4th, wiping out the Stanton leadoff walk. 6th inning, 2 on, 2 out, just trailing by a run. Jazz was swinging out of his shoes a bit, and Yariel Rodriguez, that splitter. Jazz just pounded it into the ground. Ground ball right side, inning over. In the 7th, it was paramount. Just keep it a 2-1 game. 1 on, 1 out. Schlittler got the double play ball he needed. But we've seen this at times this year. Not the most crisp fundamental baseball. The aforementioned Jazz, he was positioned perfectly up the middle, near the bag for a double play, booted it. And that opened the door, the Nathan Lucas 2-run single off Devin Williams. That basically tucked in the covers tonight. Yankees had a couple opportunities late with a tying run at the plate, couldn't come through. But this game was lost earlier than that. And speaking of tough, Anthony Volpe. 3 more strikeouts tonight. 1 for 15 with 11 strikeouts on this ALDS. 1 for 15, 11 strikeouts. Yankees pinch hit Jason Dominguez for him. In that bottom of the 9th inning, Judge ends up knocking him home. Aaron Judge, there was no way he was making the final out of this season. That's what stings too. The captain, hitting .500 in this postseason, going off, having his night last night. And it doesn't result in the Yankees forcing a Game 5 or advancing deeper to see the captain show out on an even bigger stage. Point blank, though, Yankees were beat by the better team. There's no questioning that. Toronto, the upper hand of the regular season, and they were better in every way in this American League Division Series. They were. Think you have the post game to make the post game? Hit us up on X, Instagram, and Facebook, WFAN660. Your take on all the action. Read the best post about tonight's game against Toronto, the final game of the 2025 season. Right here during Yankees post game on The Fan. Blue Jays outscore the Yankees 34-19 in these 4 games. They win this best of 5, the first ever Yankees-Blue Jays postseason matchup. They win it 3-1. And the Yankees have some bigger picture questions, some impending free agents, key free agents. We'll unpack it all. We'll take a bigger picture view as well as zooming in on tonight. A tough one to swallow. 8 Blue Jay relievers come in and shut down the Yankee offense. Off that emotional win last night. Off a strong finish to the regular season. Off an exhilarating best-of-3 win over Boston. Yankee season ends the way, frankly, if it was going to end, the most fitting finish to the Toronto Blue Jays, who beat them all season long. Toronto 5, the Yankees 2. A full review with Suzyn coming up. unpack the key moments here from the manager, Aaron Boone, the captain, Aaron Judge, and others on the Verizon Yankees postgame show, WFAN Yankees Radio.
Be part of it isn't just a slogan. 2026 season tickets are on sale now, and this is your chance to join the tradition and legacy of the New York Yankees. Purchase a plan and enjoy the best seat locations, significant savings, and flexible payment options. Plans start at just 9 games. Log on to Yankees.com, call 212-YANKEES, or email seasontickets@Yankees.com. For 2026 Yankees season tickets, email seasontickets@Yankees.com today.
Blue Jays 5, Yankees 2. Toronto wins its best of 5 in 4 games. They take 11 out of 17 from the Yankees this year and end the Yankees season here in the Bronx. Started with the Blue Jays' aggressiveness against Cam Schlittler, who is stellar today, again. But the Blue Jays, early in the count, George Springer pelted a leadoff double to start the night. Left field line. Nathan Lucas, first pitch. He flied to center. Vladdy, 0-2 protect mode, though, fended off an RBI single. Right field line, in an eye blink, 1-0 Blue Jays. Barger dunked a base hit. Runners at the corners, already 1-0. So a chance for some more danger could have been much worse. The Yankee defense in do-or-die mode.
Here's your 1. Pitch. Swung on and popped up. It's going to be Wells on the first base side near the on-deck circle. Slides into the wall, makes the catch. 2 down. Good job by Schlittler to go guard home plate just in case Guerrero thought about making a move there. So 2 down, that's a big out. Kicks and deals. Pitch. Swung on and hit to left field. A little blooper. Could be trouble if it's fair. Bellinger coming on. Slides. A backhand catch. They made the catch in fair territory. Lands on the warning track, the side warning track, and that'll do it. Boy, that's another brilliant defensive play by Cody Bellinger. What a year.
Bellinger finishing the season defensively. Well, he started with a sparkler. Defensive play of the game sponsored by Teddy's Team. Defend against stroke by knowing the warning signs. Visit Teddy's Team. That's Teddy's with 1D. Teddy'sTeam.org to learn more. Schlittler's second inning. Santander, that 11-pitch battle. Line to Judge in right field. So Schlittler, 11 pitches all first inning, and 11 pitches to Santander. But Cam's economy was maintained because Volpe robbed Clement, ranging back into the outfield, over the shoulder catch. Then Schlittler collected an Andres Jimenez comebacker. Inning over, scoreless second. 0-0 top 3. Yankees flashing more leather, left side of the infield. Between Volpe and McMahon. McMahon, the ranging play on Vladdy, capped the inning. And as it so often happens, little Yankee life tonight. But this one of the areas of life. As it so often happens in baseball, the guy who made the play, leading off, bottom 3, McMahon hanging tough against the lefty Mason Fluharty, second Blue Jay reliever, our electrifying drive of the game.
McMahon's through for a moment. Here's a pitch. Swing on and hit well. Right field. Then it's going back. It's gone. There's the moment for Ryan McMahon. Ties the game at 1-1. That is his moment. We got a new ball game, everybody.
And for a moment, clean slate. Brand new ball game. The electrifying drive of the game brought to you by Audi. Experience a fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron at your local tri-state Audi dealer today. Between that momentum, brand new game, Schlittler stranding Barger's leadoff double following half inning. He whiffed Santander, sizzled 98 past him, finished the 4th. But the Yankee offense in a 1-1 game, still a problem. Sir Anthony Dominguez following up Fluharty, the righty out of the pen. Dominguez inning and 2/3 shutout. That Jazz double play after Stanton's leadoff walk in the 4th. Very costly. So tie game, top of the 5th. A pesky Blue Jay, bottom of the order. Again, we saw it in the regular season. We saw it this series. They barreled him up. Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez, back-to-back base hits, but runners at the corners. And that teed up a guy who knows how to get the job done, George Springer.
Here's a pitch. Swing on and hit to left center field. Grisham, good beat on it. Sinking, makes the catch. Clement tagged Good speed, scores without a throw. The runner at first heads back. Springer gets the job done. Toronto's got a 2-1 lead on that sac fly.
Schlittler did bolt the door there. He froze Vladdy, 99-mile-an-hour paint, ended the inning. A 2-1 Toronto. Schlittler doing his thing in a winner-go-home game again. That poise, that composure, despite all the tough Toronto at-bats, can't put guys away necessarily against this team. Schlittler doing his thing. Bottom 5, the lefty Eric Lauer, though, jogged out of the pen. Mowed through the bottom of the Yankee order. Anthony Volpe, 3 strikeouts tonight. 1 for 15, 11 strikeouts on this series. And Addison Barger followed Lauer's clean inning. 3rd hit, a squibber, leading off the 6th inning. There's that type of night. Not only were the Blue Jays better, but it didn't feel like the Yankees' night the way these bounces were going. And with 1 out, Schlittler simply unfazed. Varsho, that double play ball. Goldschmidt smoothly turned to the bag, turned it into a pickle. Inning done. Eric Lauer, though, impressive work. He locked up Grisham, the full count slider. It was an easy call to intentionally walk Judge. Bellinger, the liner to left, and 2 out. So John Schneider went to his 5th arm, the righty Yariel Rodriguez. He promptly walked Giancarlo Stanton. So an opportunity, still a 2-1 game, 1-run ball game, 2 on, 2 out. Jazz not staying within himself. Pull mode. And he pulled a splitter into the ground. Right side, and that threat nullified. Schlittler out for the 7th inning, and no reason he should have been trailing this game. 2-1 Jays, bottom of the order. Ernie Clement made it 9 for 14 this series. Ernie Clement, Rochester's own, grew up a Yankee fan, owning the Yankees in this 4-game set. Bottom of the order. Base hit up the middle. And Schlittler, after the Clement base hit, he got the double play he needed, but it wasn't turned.
Pitch. Swung on the hit off of Cam's glove. Off of the glove of Jazz into center field. Clement to 3rd. Play didn't get made.
Inning would have been over. Jazz positioned perfectly. Instead, 1st and 3rd as that ball trickles into the outfield. Schlittler came off, rousing ovation, rightfully so. 2 do-or-die games in his first 2 career postseason starts. A guy that started at Double-A this year. And he had an all-time performance against Boston and a more than good enough performance against Toronto. Sellout crowd understood that. All rising to their feet. Devin Williams jogged in, though. Crucial to keep it a 2-1 game. Not an easy spot. Burst in 3rd, 1 out. And he fanned Springer as Jimenez swiped 2nd. So it meant another pesky Toronto Blue Jay. Nathan Lucas could have a big blow.
1-0 from Williams. Swing on line drive into left center field. That'll plate 2. Here comes Clement. Here comes Jimenez. And it's now 4-1. Nathan Lucas got a pitch up and away and served it into left center field.
Definition of a backbreaker. Not just for this game, ended up the final real punch in this season. 1-run game to 3-run game in an elimination game. Meant a whole lot. Trent Grisham did come up as a tying run against the lefty Brendan Little. That 7th inning. Popped 3rd base side, foul ground. And a frustrating postseason for Trent Grisham, who had the year of Trent Grisham in the regular season. Blue Jays added 1 in the 8th. Miles Straw off the bench, another non-household name. Doing his thing. RBI single off Camilo Doval. 5-1 Toronto. And the Yankees tying run to the plate again, bottom 8. Blue Jays closer Jeff Hoffman. He walked Ben Rice to load him up. Terrific at-bat from Rice there. Off the bench. But Austin Wells, after Hoffman wasn't really knowing where the ball was headed, Wells swung at the first pitch and flied to left. Ended that 8th inning threat. So it meant bottom 9, desperation mode, clinging to hope against Hoffman. Yankees did pinch hit. Jason Dominguez for Anthony Volpe. Scuffling mightily, Volpe. Dominguez, after 2 weeks essentially without an at-bat, you credit him. Leadoff double to the gap. 2 outs later, though, he was standing at third. Aaron Judge wasn't going to be the final out of this season. Headed to another MVP. Batting champion with 53 home runs. An awesome postseason. He rocked a base hit, scored Dominguez, cut it to 5-2. But that prolonged the inevitable, and Cody Bellinger, the last man standing.
Guerrero backs off at first. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to the American League Championship Series, which starts on Sunday as Hoffman gives a very defiant look at the Yankee dugout. And here come the Blue Jays to celebrate in front of the mound.
And that celebration you just heard in the background, it's just wrapping up. Blue Jays have had their fun on the fields. Their fans have crept up from every section they occupied tonight, dispersed throughout the crowd, all into one section beyond the Toronto third base dugout. And the Toronto Blue Jays can celebrate tonight at Yankee Stadium. They end the Yankee season. They went 11 out of 17 against the Yankees this year. The first ever Yankees-Blue Jays postseason matchup goes to Toronto. And the real stingy part from a Yankee perspective, third time in 4 years you watch the opponent celebrate on your field. That's Yankees Rewind for the final time this year. Catch a segment on demand on the free Odyssey app anytime, right alongside our station-wide Yankees coverage from our flagship WFAN. The Blue Jays 5, the Yankees 2, here in Game 4. Across these 4 games, the Blue Jays 34 and the Yankees 19. It was all Toronto in the regular season and outside of a miraculous comeback last night. Led by the captain, Aaron Judge, it was all Toronto in the postseason. Chat with Suzyn. We'll get into tonight, get into the whole season, what lies ahead for the Yankees. Hear from the manager, Aaron Boone, his full thoughts. The captain, Aaron Judge. A bitter ending for him as he watches the Yankees, his team that he cares so deeply about, and had another storybook season, personally, watches his team eliminated on their home field. On the Verizon Yankees postgame show, WFAN, Yankees Radio. Yankee manager Aaron Boone speaking to reporters right now. Will have his full thoughts momentarily. The Blue Jays 5, the Yankees 2, and the Yankee season comes to an end in sort of a stunning way. Not that you didn't sense it the first couple of games in Toronto. Not that the Blue Jays weren't the better team all year across the board and head-to-head. Not that you didn't sense it after games 1 and 2 and the way the Yankees were overwhelmed in Toronto. But off that emotional win last night, off the captain doing all he could, having his postseason moment, off the finish of the regular season where the Yankees were the hottest team in baseball, off the emotional series win over Boston, and what Cam Schlittler did in that game, what he did tonight. It's very stunning to have 8 Blue Jay relievers walk in here in this environment and 6 hit you. 2 hits by the 7th inning. An emotional Aaron Boone finishing the way he started about this team and the way it came together. How many rough, seemingly rock-bottom moments there were throughout the regular season. Coming back from the brink against Boston, hoping they could come back from the brink against Toronto. But how together this team was, the additions at the trade deadline, the way it took off the final couple of months of the year, finished as the hottest team in baseball, nearly clipped the Blue Jays for the division crown, couldn't. And lose to Toronto in 4. And the Blue Jays pretty much outclassed them in these 4 games. Yankees came back yesterday. It was a thrilling win, an emotional win. The captain had his moment. 34-19 across these 4 games. There were 34 innings where the Blue Jays batted in this series. They scored 34 runs. That note sticks out to me, especially considering how the pitching, in many ways, stabilized and carried the Yankees to this point. 34 Toronto innings in this series, offensively, and 34 Toronto runs. Think you have the post game to make the post game? Hit us up on X, Instagram, and Facebook, WFAN660. Your take on all the action. Read the best posts about tonight's game against Toronto, the final game of the 2025 season. Every game during Yankees post game on The Fan. David on X saying, Toronto better. You can't dispute that in the head-to-heads, the way they played. Outside of last night, how fundamentally sound. You watch this Toronto team. And the way they pitched down the stretch. And this Blue Jay celebration, by the way, still going on out on the field here in the Bronx. That's always one of the most bitter takeaways. An elimination at home. And your opponent celebrating where you should be celebrating. For every home run this season, Yankees Radio will donate $25 to Cars for Kids charity. We're donating. You can too. Donate your car, boat, or real estate at carsforkids.com. Ryan McMahon leveled the score, staying in lefty on lefty. His first homer off the lefty as a Yankee. Coming off Mason Fluharty. Sparking the Yankees in that third. But 8 Blue Jay relievers shut the Yankees down tonight. The Blue Jays just bullpenned their way into the championship series. They win in 4, 3-1. The Heat Report presented by Chef IQ Sense, a cooking thermometer. It pairs with your phone, ensures you never undercook your chicken, fish, or meat again. Buy one at chefiq.com. Those 8 Blue Jay relievers, Farland, Fluharty, Dominguez, Lauer, Rodriguez, Little, Fisher, Hoffman. They combined to 6-hit the New York Yankees. In an elimination game, Yankees had 2 hits by the 7th inning. Chat with Suzyn. Unpack this game. Take a broader look as well at the year. It was like 3 years when you consider how it started, the middle, the finish. But all within that was the Yankees' struggles against this Toronto team. And that's how the season ultimately ended. Chat with Suzyn coming up. The Blue Jays 5 and the Yankees 2 in Game 4 on the Verizon Yankees postgame show, WFAN Yankees Radio.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready? Wrestling fans, you asked for it? You got it. Introducing Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, an all-new channel on SiriusXM dedicated to the squared circle.
This right here is the future of wrestling.
Catch interviews with the top stars and the biggest names breaking down WWE, AEW, TNA, and everything in between daily. Listen to Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Yankees postgame show in Game 4. The Blue Jays 5, the Yankees 2, and bitter ending to the Yankees season as we check in with Suzyn on the Clubhouse Report, brought to you by the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Suzyn, you're downstairs. What's the reaction like?
Yeah, let's just make this whole what is going on, and there are things in this clubhouse because everyone is saying the right thing. We're going to work hard, and it's a special group, and and everybody is very unhappy. But it's kind of interesting because last year, after the Dodgers defeated them in the World Series, they were devastated in there. This is kind of different. And for example, the group of this club really was very close. The group of the bullpen, they're all still in the uniform, and they're sitting together where they sit as you walk in the clubhouse. The bullpen the guys are on the right, and they're sitting there. And Paul Goldschmidt has not taken his uniform off, so it tells me that people aren't quite ready to leave this. Trent Grisham, and I'm talking about a lot of the free agents. Trent Grisham is sitting there in his uniform. These are free agents. Maybe they're back, maybe they're not. But it was kind of an interesting reaction. Aaron Judge just talked about how, this is a special group, et cetera, and stuff. But, there's one thing that I think people aren't understanding here. The Toronto Blue Jays took care of this team all year. All year. They just didn't beat them. They really beat them. And you look over there and what they did. And this shouldn't be, I'm really sorry that they had to play them this early. But this was the one team that a lot of us thought was scary. This team scared me because they handled them not easily because it's sports, but they really did. Right. And you were there in a lot of it, and you saw that. And this team, and you look at what they did. I thought it was an interesting thing, Aaron Boone, talking about what they did for the pitching and the bullpen game. John Schneider evidently sent text to Pete Walker and all the assistant pitching guys and said, we're going to have some fun tonight. And the difference is that usually, you have to adjust to a starting pitcher. They put the pitchers in, adjusting who they thought would be best face the Yankee hitters. There's a difference. They set it up so that certain pitchers were going to face certain hitters, and they did it absolutely perfectly. Got a little scary for them with Jeff Hoffman in there, but that's been going on a long time. But that's the difference in the thinking. They set it up so that they had the advantage of who he brought in. That was flawless. They absolutely did that flawlessly. And a couple of things came up, an error and a bad error by Jazz. He just missed the ball. And those kinds of things have happened before. And, the struggles of some of these people, when you get to these kinds of games, they're going to show up. They really are.
Right, gets exposed. And I thought your point about the year as a whole, it's perfect. Toronto won 11 out of 17.
Right.
And it's not just 11 out of 17. You look at the games, a lot of them were outclassing the Yankees.
Yeah, no, those 3 days in Canada where they lost every game was just unbelievable. And this was, even when they lost, it was, you looked at this team and even all year you'd look at them and you'd say, this is the one that's going to give you trouble. And it did. I think the whole thing, and my feeling, and it's not, I think that if they had lost to the Red Sox, it would have been devastating, because then it's like nothing. And not because it's the Red Sox, it's because it's not as good a team. And this is a good team, and this hurts a lot, but it's different than getting beaten by a team that is not as good as you are.
Yep, and it's a good team, and it was the household names and the non-household names. Both did it to the Yankees in the series.
But that's how they've set it up. They've done that all year. These guys don't hit 350 by accident, and it's the way they go about things and the way they have things. And by the way, John Schneider has done a heck of a job, and he has taken this team, which was 3 years ago when he came in. I think it's 3 years ago when he came in. It was a team that struck out a lot, hit a lot of home runs, but when it mattered, could not hit the good pitching because they struck out too much. Look at that team. They changed everything. Don Mattingly had a hand in that, and the way they have done that. Look at what they did. They turned it around. They still have the hitters. They still have Bo. They still have Vladdy. They still have Kirk. They still have Varsho. They hit home runs. But they have the other kinds of hitters, too. And I'm not saying bunting and, those kinds of things. They had doubles and singles and all over the park.
Yeah, they foul off pitches. They take the ball where it's pitched up and down the lineup. And to see Vladdy, in particular, who just signed 15 years here, and how emotional he was on the field.
Yep.
I'm not sure a lot of people saw Toronto being in this spot, but I'm sure they saw it all year.
Well, they seem to be like this in spring training. They were thinking they were pretty fired up in spring training when we saw them. They thought they were going to have a really good team. I don't think that they thought that everyone was going to be like this and it was all going to work, but it has. And their problem has been their pitching. And just think they did this. No Max Scherzer, no Jose Barrios, no Chris Bassett. There was another one, but Bowden Francis.
Right.
Those are stars. They were sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they weren't on the roster.
They weren't even on the roster.
And they still find a way to win in a resounding way. And you look at this Toronto team, it reminds me of the Yankee season as a whole. Yankees led this division by 8 games.
Yep.
Toronto came storming back when the Yankees won their slumber. Yankees finished strong, but ultimately they fall in the postseason.
Yeah, they certainly did, and they put that together, and it came with the there were people that came over. They made those good deals from over the trade deadline. The Louis Varland one is really good. They did a bunch of things like that, and it all came together with them. Now, Aaron Boone talking to the press, and obviously, this is really tough. He said they beat us. It's as simple as that. He said this is a beat up room in here, meaning that the players they really are. They're still sharing, and because they know a lot of these people aren't going to be. They're not going to see them in a Yankee uniform next year. He said it's very difficult. This is a beautiful game. You pour so much into it, and when it ends this way, it's terrible. And that's the manager saying. He did go out of his way to congratulate the Blue Jays and what a terrific year they had, and congratulate John. Bullpen game, it's very tough. But they were bringing in guys to face your lineup, which I talked about before, which is very different. They had this guy, okay, my guy's up. I'm coming in. And that's really, really different. The whole game was set up like that, and it's just the text that he sent to his pitching coach and his and the assistant coaches this morning. We're going to have some fun today, and that's something that this team does.
Yeah, they did. They set it up perfectly. 8 relievers, and they basically had a straight flush. They did it perfectly the entire way through.
Yeah, they really did. Now, as far as next year, nobody wants to talk about next year. Obviously, the question was asked to Aaron Boone, does he expect to be back? He said without hesitation, yes, I have 2 more years on my contract. And I know a lot of people like to blame Aaron Boone. This is not Aaron Boone. And, we've had talked about this all the time. And if they fired Aaron Boone right now, they'd get somebody just like him, because that's how they play. They believe in the way they play, and that is not going to change. You'd have to change the whole thing, and that's not going to happen.
Right, and one thing I've never understood about manager criticism, there were 34 innings for the Blue Jays this series, and they scored 34 runs. Is that Aaron Boone's fault? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, it's a pitching staff that, and there were bright spots in the pitching staff yesterday, but they finished the season so well. You'll have 34 runs in a 4-game series.
Right.
You're going to lose.
Right. And they were adapting to what was going on, and I find it fascinating. The one, to me, the bright spot is Cam Schlittler, has been since he arrived here. And when you look at, he's the only starter who got anybody out in the 4th inning this whole series. Just think about that. He did what he has done, and he was talking in there about, learning from it. And he said, I know I'm a young player and I have a lot to learn. This is experience that goes in the bank, and you can't, you can't even change that kind of thing. You need this kind of experience. It's one thing to know what you do. There he was. He was the pitcher in an elimination game, and he did better than any of these big-time starters, every one of them. And he had no fear, and he wasn't as sharp. You didn't see that curve, that javelin kind of to curve, but got through it and he is not the reason this team lost.
Yeah, he showed maturity beyond his years getting through this start. He pitches 2 postseason games, his first 2, both elimination games, and pitches this well. If you want to think to next year, the sky's the limit for Cam Schlittler.
Well, you do think to next year, because there's no that's how this game is.
Right.
You start thinking about this game is done, and this group will not be the same next year, and you start looking at what you need to do.
Right. You have a few key free agents, whether it be Bellinger or Grisham.
Well, Aaron Boone said he's hoped they're all back, but I'm not. Who's? Well, it's not the time to talk about it, but
right.
That's kind of a long shot, maybe. But as I said to somebody about Bellinger, who really has been spectacular here. If the Yankees really want him, have you ever seen the Yankees not get somebody that they wanted?
Oh, if they really want him, and make him a Yankee for life, Cody Bellinger.
It also, they're going to look, the age of him and of Trent Grisham. Was Trent Grisham's year, is this his breakout year, or is this an outlier? You have to decide those kinds of things before you commit.
Right. Very, very interesting decisions that come about in the offseason. And in terms of a guy who will be here and is their captain, Aaron Judge, what a spectacular season. He hits 500 in the postseason. They end up losing.
It's a tremendous year for Aaron Judge. Here's the one thing that you think about. Now, I know you haven't had a World Series championship in a long time. Aaron Judge is not 28.
Right.
I get the feeling sometime, you better hurry up. He's not going to be like this forever.
Right, 34 years old, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and so next year he'll be 35 years old.
That's incredible to think about.
It really is. It really is. But if that's, I think about that, and he does keep getting better and better every year, but eventually you get to the other side of the bell curve here.
Yeah, it's like aging backwards and until it isn't, which eventually happens to everybody.
Yeah, and he had, he tried to do this sometimes like all by himself.
Right.
And what a year he had, and that is something to celebrate. This is very disappointing. There's a different kind of bad taste in your mouth after this loss, and maybe it's because it's a division series. You almost can take it, all those losses to Houston and everything. Those were, fighting tooth and nail, and it's to get to the World Series. The division series is kind of bothersome.
Definitely is, and as Aaron Boone was talking about, you said it, Suzyn, this team came together as a team, and they played for each other, so I'm sure that is very sudden for them tonight.
Well, it is that, but you had you hit that other team across there.
Right.
I mean, they did it all year.
100%. Susan, great working with you all year. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you to Matt. Thank you, Rick Roush down here, who's standing here very patiently setting it up. Thank you, guys. You've been great. And we will see you in March. I think the first game is, March 25th or March 27th?
We'll set the clock right now. The countdown begins, Susan.
It's only about 5 more months, and we start on the coast. So everybody gets your sleep over the winter so you can start opening night in San Francisco.
March 25th.
Absolutely. On Netflix, Susan. Remember that, on Netflix.
Do I have to go on Netflix? No, it won't be.
No, you won't.
No, we will be on WFAN, the Yankee Radio Network. Well, I'll be sitting in my seat in the Giants Park, that beautiful ballpark, and it'll be very late. So everybody get used to staying. Before that, spring training starts in March. It'll be here before you know it.
100%. So on the radio on late March, and Susan, really appreciate it. We'll talk to you throughout the offseason.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Susan. That's Susan's Clubhouse report as the Yankee season comes to an end. 5-2, the final score. The Blue Jays win it. They take care of the Yankees in 4 games, took care of the Yankees throughout the course of this season, 11 out of 17 times. Come back, hear more Clubhouse reaction, hear from you and the Yankees. A pitching staff that came in hot. A team came in very confident. Blue Jays scored 34 runs, outscored the Yankees 34-19 across 4 games. On the Verizon Yankees postgame show, Blue Jays 5 and the Yankees 2. That celebration still going on for Toronto on the Yankee Stadium diamond right around third base on WFAN Yankees Radio.
Be part of it isn't just a slogan. 2026 season tickets are on sale now, and this is your chance to join the tradition and legacy of the New York Yankees. Purchase a plan and enjoy the best seat locations, significant savings, and flexible payment options. Plans start at just 9 games. Log on to Yankees.com, call 212-YANKEES, or email seasontickets@Yankees.com. For 2026 Yankees season tickets, email seasontickets@Yankees.com today.
Always tough when a season comes to an end abruptly, and especially the opponent celebrating on your field. Third time in 4 years that happens to the Yankees. Back in 2022, it was the Astros here at the stadium. Last year, all the way to the World Series, winning another pennant. But it was the Dodgers celebrating in Game 5 here in the Bronx. And this year, October 8th, 2025, the Toronto Blue Jays' first ever playoff meeting. Yankees and Blue Jays. Toronto finishes what it started in the regular season and lapping the Yankees in this head-to-head in 2025. The captain rolling to another MVP, which would be his 3rd this year. It's 500 in the postseason, but a truncated postseason. Again, for the captain, Aaron Judge. .331 hitter, first batting title. 53 homers, 114 RBIs, and it's 500 in the postseason. But his Yankees fall short. And that's what makes this one tough to swallow. The way the Yankees finished the season, how well-rounded they were, how healthy they were entering the postseason. Sometimes it doesn't come together at the right time. And sometimes you have a team that simply has your number all year. And Toronto proved in the regular season and the postseason to be the better team. 11 out of 17, regular season and postseason combined. A 3-1 ALDS, 34-19, a combined score. And Toronto scored essentially a run an inning in this ALDS. Our scoreboard brought to you by Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. So the Blue Jays, for the first time in 9 years, they're on to the championship series. And they await the winner of Detroit, Seattle. Tigers back from the brink. They were 3-0 down in the 5th inning of an elimination game at home today. They scored 9 unanswered. A 9-3 Tiger win. So Friday, got the Tigers and the Mariners playing for a spot in the championship series. And whoever wins that game, Tarek Skubal, Luis Castillo, whoever wins that game, go to Toronto. In the National League, the Cubs stayed alive, fended off Milwaukee. Took a 4-0 lead early, held on. 4-3 the final. So the Cubs stave off elimination. You got a Game 4 coming up tomorrow. The Phillies just exploded for a 5-run 8th inning in L.A. So the Dodgers, after taking a couple in Philly, Philly's set to keep their season alive and force a Game 4 Phillies-Dodgers coming up in the National League slate tomorrow. That's your scoreboard, brought to you by Optimum Fiber. As for our road ahead, unfortunately, the road coming to an end tonight. Road ahead brought to you by Volvo Cars Ramsey. Winner of the Volvo Excellence Award. Find the Volvo you want, easy, at Volvo Cars Ramsey. Next up, spring training in February down in Tampa at Steinbrenner Field. And opening day, March 25th, 2026 in San Francisco. Yankees start the season on a West Coast swing. San Francisco and Seattle to start the 2026 season. And, of course, you take tonight to digest the season and a bitter loss of the Blue Jays, but plenty of questions in terms of who's back, who's not back. Plenty of this Yankee young core will be back, and a lot of young talent emerged this year. Once the dust settles, that leaves you with some glimmers of hope for what's to come. But the uncertainty of a Bellinger or a Grisham, Goldschmidt being a free agent, the bullpen with the likes of Weaver and Williams, but mainly Bellinger and Grisham, top two storylines entering this offseason. But as for 2026, begins March 25th in San Francisco at Oracle Park. Next game pitching matchup sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism. Next time you hit the road, plan your vacation at visitnj.org. Yankees at some point, rehab's gone well to this point, will welcome their ace, their rock, Garrett Cole, back into this rotation in 2026. Unfortunately, in this division series, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, they weren't effective, but they anchored this rotation all season long. The reason the Yankees got here, and you start to imagine what the pitching staff could look like down the road. But stings tonight, for the third time in 4 years, Yankees eliminated on their home field in the postseason. 5-2 the final. Blue Jays win it in Game 4. 8 Toronto relievers combined to shut down this Yankee offense in an elimination game. On the Verizon Yankees postgame show, wrap it up. We get back. WFAN, Yankees Radio. Our player of the game tonight will go player of this American League Division Series. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He went 9 for 18 across these 4 games. He drove in 9 runs in these 4 games. Hit 3 balls out of the park. And over his last 26 games against the Yankees, 32 RBIs and an average near 430. Actually, incredible to read that. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., just one reason the Blue Jays came in here, a complete team, and took down the Yankees. Contributions up and down the lineup, but their star certainly showed out. He's our player of the game, presented by Cotters & Co. And a bitter ending, Aaron Judge hits 500 in this postseason. Yankees do come up short. 5-2 Toronto in Game 4. Our next game time brought to you by Nielsen Dodge. For the best selection of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, visit NielsenDodge.com and save today the Nielsen way. Next game, March 25th in San Francisco. Opening day, 2026. Spring training before that. Hope you'll join us on WFAN Yankees Radio. Until then, a tremendous job by our crew all year, led by our producer, engineer in the booth, Matt Shortis, associate producer, Rick Roush, Connor Green, Paul Rosenberg, the entire cast of characters back at WFAN 345 Hudson. And for Suzyn Waldman and Dave Sims, honored to work with them all year. Emmanuel Berbari saying so long from Yankee Stadium. Once again, the final game of 2025. Game 4 of the ALDS. The Blue Jays 5, the Yankees 2, Toronto on to the championship series. WFAN, Yankees Radio. Have a good one.
This has been the Yankees postgame show, powered by Verizon. For a limited time, get their best price ever. Drop into your local Verizon store today to learn more. Also brought to you by Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. London menswear brand Charles Tyrrett. They make it easy for men to dress well. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. The Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. My computer career. Training for a better life. Veg ER for Pets, official emergency veterinarian group of Yankees Radio. And by Care Right Centers, we start where others stop. This is WFAN Yankees Radio.